you think the streets of Hackney and indeed of London are safe? And if not, in what way they're not?
Well, I'm going out to dinner in Hackney after this, I hope, and that will involve some walking along the streets. But I think what we want is some things to happen to make our streets safe. First of all, we want safe alcohol. There is too much alcohol available. There's binge drinking, underage drinking, all hours drinking, and this contributes directly, I believe, to violence. Secondly, we need the Bobby on the beat in whatever form. We need police visibility on the streets to reassure people. And then thirdly, we want the community itself to make sure that its streets are safe. I know that in Hackney you've got the Street Pastors program. These are people from the different churches who volunteer to go out onto the streets and to make sure that people in difficulty are not left on their own. Now, I think those sorts of measures will make any community safe.
According to the Home Office, this is the second most violent borough in London. I don't know whether that accords with your experience. The woman in the second row here. Yes.
Well, I'm not surprised that the panel would feel safe walking around in Hackney, because the problems that we have in inner city areas are children killing children. And isn't it the case that the panel and the rest of the House of Commons have no idea how to deal with it?
John Denham.
The personal answer to the question is, as I can't get to my nearest convenience store without walking around the streets of Hackney at night, albeit on the edge of the borough, I don't have a problem about it. But the last question is absolutely right. For most people, I think, and certainly for most men of my age, this is not the issue. The issue that has really worried people over the last few months has been about young people, young men in particular, but some young women. We do know what we need to do, but it is a struggle. We have to change the culture amongst young people about carrying knives. We have to deal with the alcohol problems that Michael has been talking about. We have to work with youth workers and others with the gangs to break up the culture and break up the gang mentality. We have to address that large group of young people who don't think they're going to succeed in school, don't think that life's going to offer them very much, can only see other ways of making money. Now,
you've had a whole generation go through school since Labour came in. Yeah, why haven't you achieved any of this?
We have just had the first generation that's been educated under a Labour government.
Yes.
And we haven't. Because if we look at those groups of young people, we can identify the problem. There are a section of young people where, although overall school standards have risen, they haven't risen for them, their aspirations haven't been raised, the role models haven't been there for them, and we have to acknowledge where we haven't tackled the problems. But what I believe
sorry, just to bring you back to what the lady...
What I do believe passionately is we do know the elements we've got to bring together.
The woman there says the real problem is that you don't actually know what to do, and if you had known what to do, you'd have done it over the past 10 years, surely.
I think, if I look at this honestly, we've done a lot of very good things over the last year, but that part of that generation, yes, that part of that generation still has major problems. Now, I think we do now, and are now, putting those elements together, but it's not going to be an overnight solution. And ultimately, it is about persuading a part of a generation of young people that actually life, success at school and high aspirations are achievable for them as they are for other young people.